Welcome to Sunday evening with Happy Place. Today we have these lovely people. I'm gonna let you guys introduce yourself.
Um, my name is my name's Jake. I know that much. This is lady is lives with me. She does stuff with me. Katie. That's right. For Hagen Hill Design. If you don't know, that's what our channel is. Shorten it to HHD, and we're in our living room away from our fishies tonight.
I've got the fishies behind me. They're always behind me. The only thing I did was move positions. I was used to be like further to my right. Now I'm a little further to the left. And you get a reflection behind me, which is driving me absolutely nuts.
Right.
Oh, so we already got Slim Tim in here. He's let's see. Let's go already.
Hello, Slim Tim.
Welcome, George. Welcome, Flatbed. So, congratulations again on the baby.
Thank you.
Legitimately, I had no clue. I was just as shocked as everybody else, I believe, was. I was like, hold on, you guys had a baby? Like, what rock was I under?
Yeah, we kept it under wraps for quite a while for various reasons, but mostly because we're private and also just dealing with a life change. Where I've had some children already, and my oldest is 19, my youngest is 12. I didn't think that I was in a stage of life to have another kid, and there's other issues without getting too personal. But we just kind of kept things under wrap until, well, you can only wear so big a sweatshirts in 90-degree weather. Trying to
Oh, man.
hide
I can imagine it had to be hot. I'm not even going to lie.
Yeah.
I read your post on Facebook talking about you used to be a furnace. You're like, now I'm cold.
Yeah, I'm back in the sweatshirts.
Yeah, Katie's always been a freeze baby, but towards the end of the pregnancy, you were a heat
Furnace.
source. Could have used you in the wintertime, kept the heat bills down.
Right?
Doing this YouTube thing, there is kind of a certain need for privacy, if that makes sense. You need to keep some things, some aspects of your life hidden. Like, you don't really need to show every fish you own. People really don't need to know about your significant other or the license plate number of your car. They don't need to know things like that. So some things that you do keep personal is actually awesome.
Yeah.
You know? Uh,
At the
you know,
same
I,
time, though, it's like you don't. It's harder to connect with people if you don't show some of those things. So we try to include as many people as possible, but a lot of it wasn't just a YouTube thing with the pregnancy. There was somebody at your work, actually, at Katie's work, that didn't know at all until after the baby was born. So it was beyond YouTube, is what I'm saying, with this in particular. But I think with YouTube, if you can include a little bit of your personal life and personal matters, it helps you be more relatable. And I think that, at least for me, when I watch certain channels and things that I watch on a regular basis, just that little bit of personal things involved makes them seem more human. And I find myself coming back to them more and more, because there's so much commercialism and things out there that I can only take so much of the same carbon copy stuff. So having a little bit of individualism involves some personality, some personal issues in your life.
absolutely.
That makes sense.
I been doing this not that long. I've only been doing it a little over a year. And I think in that time, I have met some of the nicest people I've ever met on the internet, and I've met some of the
Yeah.
worst people I've ever met on the internet.
Hmm.
With the way you guys keep your fish and everything, like I always say, it's your hobby. Do it your way. Do you ever get like a lot of criticism from people?
I have on a few things. In the early days when I was early days. We've only been doing this for going on 2 years now. So in the early videos, it was more about when I do point of view stuff.
Yeah,
It's not so bad now, but I usually have tremors. I believe it's caused just by back issues and whatnot, nerve things.
nerve damage.
But and especially if I'm nervous and stuff, then it gets really bad. Right now, I'm pretty calm, steady. But when I was first doing videos, I get nervous. Even it was we didn't do any live streams. I was just nervous the fact that I was making a video I was going to put out there in public, so it made it worse. And I get a lot of people like, dude, why you shake so much? Shake, shake, shake. It was just constant stuff. And I made a video about my title filter, and I had enough of it. I was just like, yeah, I realize I shake. I think I have Parkinson's. I guess people with Parkinson's that aren't gonna like it much that you're using their condition to make a joke about me. And I'd make a joke about myself later on in it and stuff. And I found that it resonated with people. It's one of our top performing videos right now. Not only just because of being a Title 75 CChem filter review, which everybody looks for, but most of the comments that we got back were like, yeah, screw those people. I shake too, things like that. Don't let it get you down. I found a lot of positive reinforcement. We've also had like criticism when we set up our deep substrate tank a while back, and we still are in the father fish. We don't do everything his way, but we decided we were gonna set up a father fish tank. So we showed the whole process. It was a two part video, and I had one person that was very I don't remember the name now, but he ended up being a subscriber. He said that he was very concerned about our methods of fish keeping. That was very dangerous. Very much against it, all that stuff. And at first I was like, well, how do you know anything about how I keep fish based on this video? But I thought to myself, the best way to deal with people like that, I believe, is to just ask them to elaborate on their opinion, on their comment. Relate to them and see, okay, I understand. What is it about that makes you feel that way? And engage them. And they'll either back off, they won't ever talk again, or they will elaborate, they will explain. And usually it's a lot softer the next time they come around. You're like, well, I feel this way because whatever. And then you start a rapport with that person and a conversation, and you appreciate their comment, and then you go on and you can have a conversation, so to speak, in your comments and turn something around that originally I'm being like, well, who the hell are you to talk that way? You don't know me. And I could just like attack it. That's like honestly my first gut reaction is to do something like that. But it ended up turning it around, and he's been a subscriber as far as I know since then. So we've all ran into that, I believe, in keeping fish. There's so many opinions, and like you said, do things your way. You've always been a promoter of that, and I think there's something to say about people that feel that strongly about something. They might not necessarily be hating. They might just be genuinely concerned, and if you give them an opportunity to talk to you and having a good discussion about it, even if it's through comments, it can have a lot more effect than just picking a side or standing your ground all the time. Too much, dude.
Yeah, brother, it's quite all right. So here's the thing. I always tell everybody it's your hobby, do it your way, because what I do may not work for you. And what you do may not work for me. Not one method of fish keeping is proper. I mean, there's some very unorthodox things, like for instance, with my, I have natural blue acara. The way that I treat them, people have told me that I'm going to kill them. I've had people flat out tell me, you're killing your fish. I said, how? They're healthy. They're swimming. They're eating. they're pooping. I know. I gravel vac it all the time.
Right.
You know, the method that I do for like treating ick, people tell me I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, how is it wrong if my fish never die from it? You know. So there's
Yep.
more than one way to do this, and people don't understand that. And that's
That's
the
my
part.
favorite part of this hobby, actually, because we try to experiment with a lot of different things. Like I've got bare bottom tanks. I have sand only. I really don't. I've moved away from gravel lately, but we used to have gravel. I've got deep substrate. I've got tanks that hardly ever touch the water ever in it, and they're breeding tanks. I figure that the fish are breeding and making babies and living. That can't be that bad, and it's just even everybody's got a different method, like you say, but every aquarium's almost different. Every fish is different. And to try to
Correct.
learn as much of different possible ways, the more well rounded I think a person's going to be. I think a lot of it stems from a lot of you can only do it this way. It seems ignorant to me, for one thing, and it might stem from, at least on YouTube, from those who want to create drama or create views by getting people to side or whatever. It just seems rather dumb to me.
I think the majority of this hobby that people are trying to push is because it's probably done by the bigger companies like Fluval or like your water testing companies or the kit companies and things like that. Because I always see people, you got to test your water, test it every day. I'm like, I'm not testing my water every day.
It's a pain in the butt. Man, I set up things even like hold my test tubes and a cart to hold all my stuff and it's if I were to try and test every day, I wouldn't be able to have a job. It might be fine if that's all I ever did,
Yeah.
but even then, how smart is that? Why you want to look at a test tube with colored stuff in there and not look at your fish? I would think that that'd be a priority.
You
Like
know,
even our own child, I'm not gonna like stick a thermometer in her mouth every 5 seconds to monitor her temperature when I can just look at her and then once you are able to see that there's behavioral things that are off or something looks off, then consider doing some testing. It's good to have a kid, I think, around, but man, just burn through those drops. Super cheap, right? Uh,
oh yeah, $40 a pop for a test kit is just super cheap.
yeah,
I
yeah,
think I have two kits. One I got with a whole bunch of supplies I bought. I still don't think I've used the rest of that guy's kit. I mean, literally, I have a lot of tanks, and if I tested every tank, I'd be here from daylight to dark. I'm not going to do it. I keep a lot of different things.
but if you're into it and you have the time and you have the money, then go for it. Because honestly, I think doing testing like that is interesting. I like chemistry. I did as a kid. I had one of those chemistry sets, and
Yeah.
microscopes. And if I had the time and the freedom and the money to do that, I'd be sampling water, looking at a microscope, checking out things because I find it fascinating. But I don't do it out of fear. Doing it out of fear, like you could screw up if you don't keep those numbers and chasing numbers and stuff, that's, to me, is not relaxing. Maybe it is for someone else if they want something just perfect. But we're talking about as a larger whole to instill fear into people that if you don't do it this certain way, you're gonna not have success is very discouraging. You're not someone that's going to be a positive influence on the hobby unless you can let a person grow and learn on their own.
June tests her tanks every week for an experiment. Used a lot of test strips. Yeah, you could take those test strips, take a pair of scissors, cut them down the middle, take one test strip, and make two.
Yeah.
I like test strips because they're a lot easier.
A lot
They're not as
faster.
accurate as but I mean, yeah, just you're dunking it in there. You're not washing out test tubes afterwards. I've told other people on streams, majority of any testing I do is a TDS meter. And I got it off a zero water filter for
Yeah.
drinking water. Comes with one, and I just kind of keep my eye on that more so if I have to do a water change or if something is you've dipped that in there once in a while. If the numbers start to fluctuate and start growing higher, then it gives me reason to kind of look into it further. But that's a little electronic device. It's like shows a number, and you're done. It's not a spend all day fretting over what color is on inside my test tube.
June, I think he has a video about cutting his test strips down the middle. I'm pretty sure he does. I remember watching the video. All right.
Yeah.
I am absolutely 100% loving that camo onesie. I'm sorry.
Yeah, little girls in camo, just like her mom.
Absolutely. Put a fishing pole in her hand when she gets old enough to take her fishing. Get her into it.
Oh yeah,
What do you tell people when they ask what your favorite color is?
mossy oak.
Mossy oak.
Mine's gray. I'm colorblind.
She just likes camo patterns.
I can't see really bright reds or neon colors. Orange is about the brightest color I can see.
Wow.
Everything else is grayish. Happens. I was welding an auto shop, and I had an old school mask on that had a gap at the top, and one of the hot frags went behind it, right in my face.
Oh,
Ouch.
I've got a bald spot right back here. I was welding some exhaust under my truck.
Quit using that story. You were probed by an alien.
That's okay if you were probed by an alien.
It's probed by an alien.
It's the little button you push and then the alien pops out of your head, remember?
All right, so we got Sam Gloves in the comment section. He said, "Hi everyone. He likes gloves, and he wants to know what kind of gloves you have." I am pretty
Gloves.
sure. This dude is a glove thief. He's the guy that always takes that one glove you're missing. It's his fault.
I've got so many gloves. So many gloves. I think I even have a pair right on the table. I'm going to appease this dude. I have a brand new fresh pair of gloves right over here. Don't I?
I don't know.
Oh yeah.
I don't have gloves. I got some pantyhose hanging over here.
I don't want to know.
Senior gloves.
I use them over top of my Python when I'm cleaning my fry tank, so I don't lose any fry.
Sure you
Crinkles.
do. No, I'm just
Nice.
kidding.
I think these are used at our distribution center because we don't sell them. But it was inside one of our totes that had freight in it one day. There's no way
Nice.
to sell them. There's no real UPC for resale. I think somebody was just being cute at the warehouse and tossed a pair in there or fell off of something, but I snagged them.
Absolutely,
myself.
I would have too.
Yeah. So I got some gloves.
Let's check out Sam's page. Let's see what kind of gloves Sam actually has. Sam has 241 subscribers and one video. Nice.
Is the video about gloves?
I don't know. Let's find out, shall we?
Yeah. I would hope so.
Oh, where's the volume?
Cannot use, did not use, I won't post any video on YouTube. I only watch times James.
James.
Hello, my name's Sam.
I'm gonna say my friend is special.
He looks like he's having a good time with it. I'm glad he's in the chat.
Absolutely. Welcome. I used to carry pantyhose when I drove over to yeah, absolutely they do. He's not even kidding.
So do zip ties.
Oh man,
Paracord.
I remember the belt on my car breaking, and I took my shoestrings out of it and put it around the belt just so I could make it around so I could make it home. It worked. I only had to go about 8 miles, but I wouldn't have made it. It would have overheated in 8 miles. So I know we're not in the actual fish room, but elaborate on some of the things you have for the people that don't know.
Oh, as far as fish goes, we have a
So
lot
many.
of tanks. Um,
Start with your goldfish.
yeah, we have goldfish, the Comet, and fancy variety, Miranda, Ranchu, Fantail, the fancy goldfish, Blackmores. Um, there's a pond full of goldfish outside, which we gotta bring them in here pretty soon. It's getting cold. I've got guppies and endlers galore, swordtails, tetras. Tetras are like neon tetras, black emperor tetras,
No black phantom.
black phantom tetras, and white tip ornate tetras. Um, we have we have a bisher. We like to call it a bisher, albino Senegal bisher.
Okay.
That one lives along with a big cichlid that we have that's been growing that we call it a Salvini. I've had videos out there trying to get it actually identified, and a lot of people are kind of stumped because it looks a lot like a Salvini, but I think it might be a hybrid of some sort. Shyest fish ever. That thing's fun to watch when it actually come out and eat. We have that 75-gallon tank that's a big community tank. It's got angelfish, German blue rams,
Gouramis.
polar blue, parrot, yeah, gourami, gold gouramis,
Pictus.
glass catfish, pictus catfish, pleco, several coolie loaches, and a corridora, a jade corridora in there.
You guys got a lot of fish.
Yeah. I've got angelfish. I got breeding pair in its own 29. Like I said earlier, it's just a dirty, dirty tank. But they just keep making babies. So I've got little 5-gallon tanks set around with grow outs for those angels. And we do have a beta.
And the fish in the kitchen.
Female. Oh, in the kitchen, we do have one tank in the house. 10-gallon tank on our kitchen island. It has longfin cherry barbs that we got from Peplin Creek Aquatics. Also, they're a longfin corridora that I don't remember the breed.
Starts with a P.
Yeah. A lot of fish. We just bought like 4 more 10-gallon tanks. We do have a 210, even though somebody said that it's probably a 240. It's an acrylic tank. We got it last January. That's being kind of cycled right now. We're going to get that moved into our main fish room. And we're going to do all sorts of stuff with that. We do have a 110-gallon pond in our fish room, just a stock tank pond. That's got 2 blood parrots in it, along with a Chinese algae eater and a common pleco. In a lot of our Endler and guppy tanks, we have bristle-nose plecos. We have some albino ones. We have the blue-eyed lemons, chocolate longfins. We got all those from Jeff Kane. When he came to visit, he brought us some gifts.
Nice.
I'm setting up some new 210s in a different area now in the fish room because I want to start separating. I got so many different guppies and endlers that are kind of living in a community tank aside from the special breeds that we have in their own. But I want to start separating those out and getting them to breed out, have specific ones. Just because I'd like to be able to sell some fish maybe on some auctions online or give them away to people. So it's fun making baby fish because they're like free fish, man. Other
Absolutely.
than the food. I mean, you buy a couple fish from the store, and pretty soon you got a bunch of them.
I've got a little tank right here. It's hard to see. It's dark right now. It's got so much algae on the glass, so much algae on everything that's in it because the light runs for like 10 hours a day. But it's on purpose so the fry that are in there can eat it. And I have some of the healthiest fry in there I think I've ever kept. They're turquoise severums.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I have about 300 convicts for anybody that wants some convicts.
Ooh. Kind of like convicts. I've never had them yet, but our polar
can't
blue
get rid
is
of 'em
mixed.
around
You can't get rid of them.
If
So,
we could
you
get
know,
a convict to breed with one of our blood parrots, we might come up with something neat.
you'll end up with polar parrots like your blue one.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what I was thinking.
Those guys are just like convicts. Once they start, they don't stop. They breed like, I mean, they breed like rabbits, man. And
The
I'm
polar
not the
blues
guy
are
that
cool.
will. Yeah, absolutely. They are. I had, so I bought 8 of them from my local fish store. They were like 99 cents a piece. So I bought all 8 of them that he had left. Well, I got so lucky that they all paired off.
Oh wow.
I had 4 freaking mated pairs that were breeding in the tank at the same time.
Wow.
I took them. I took a bucket full of them to the store. I'm like, here, I don't want them. Sell them. And then I took him the parents. I said, I don't want these either, and he got rid of them for me. Like I didn't even ask for a penny for them. I said, you can have them. I bought them from you. You can have them, and he got rid of them. Uh oh,
Yeah,
we got people.
sometimes they get overwhelming. It can be if you have great success like our angelfish. We've had decent success breeding them, and we let the parents kind of cull them. But if we were to like try to actually save all the babies that they have at a time, because they're like on their 6th or 7th batch.
8th or 9th.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, there are several hundred of them every time. I can't imagine I'd be overran with angelfish right now if it was able to like even get a 80%, even 50% survival rate
Right.
out of them. It'd be nuts. We'd have nothing but angelfish everywhere. And then when they pair off, they get kind of feisty. It's hard to have more than one breeding pair in a tank, so start running into problems with that.
Slim Tim, I finally got duckweed.
You're gonna have it forever.
That is,
Freshwater herpes.
you know what? I have looked and I've begged people for duckweed. I'm not even going to lie to you. I've begged. I get it. I put it in my tank. Gone. Goldfish eat it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
we
why I
feed it
want
to
it. I
our
want it for the
goldfish
goldfish.
sometimes. If it gets overwhelming on some of the tanks, I use one of those wire mesh strainers for food, a sieve or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just scoop it out and dunk it into the goldfish
fish
tank,
food.
and it's usually gone by morning.
I went to Walmart, and you know those little pole nets you can buy to like take the stuff off the top, like the little short ones. I
Yeah.
got it at the end of the season for like $1. Works
Nice.
perfect for getting stuff out of tanks.
Mm-hmm.
Like off the top, just right across the top, done. Works perfect.
We use one on our ponds outside just because we get leaves and junk.
Yeah, I had some floating. Oh, what the hell are they called?
Red root.
No, can't think of what they're called. Pond lilies. I had pond lilies in there. They ate those.
Oh yeah.
They ate all of it. There wasn't a single piece left. I'm like, man, you guys are brutal. So
far our lilies are the only thing our goldfish don't touch.
This year.
Yeah, but they pretty much go after anything that I put for plants in there. So we tend to use out like for indoor aquariums, or generally used in the past what we call a bog. It's basically aquaponics.
okay,
The water pumps into it and then drains back out into the aquarium, and then you can use clay ball, and we use spider plants. If anyone looks back on our channel, you'll see tons of that. We use spider plants, and they grow like crazy. The spider plants, just dunk them in the water, and they feed off of that, and the water just stays super nice. But then you end up with a ton of plants just bushing off the top of your tank.
I am working on building a filter for my 300-gallon tank or my 300-gallon stock pond in my basement. Uh, I'm doing something different that nobody else has done. That at
Nice.
least I haven't seen it. So it's going to be made out of a 5-gallon bucket. That's about as deep into it as I'm going to go. The rest is still in progress of me figuring out how I'm going to set it up. But
I made I made a filter out of a 5 gallon bucket for our 700 round stock tank we have in our backyard. So
how did it work?
it goes great. It's our second year or third year on it.
Third.
Third year. I changed the pump this year. Instead, used to have it running on solar, but I couldn't keep it running all the time. About 10 to 15 minutes per hour is all I had available for power on it, and it would still run out. So this year I switched it out with a pump that I could plug in, and I ran a cord and made it all nice, but so it runs all the time. But it's great. I got a pump inside of a bucket. It's basically sits at the bottom. I covered the pump with lava rock and then stuck filter foam, a 2-inch black foam. I cut it in a circle and just stuffed it down on top of it, and then allowed a hole for the hose and the power cord to come out the top. Drilled some holes in the top of the lid of the bucket so it'll allow water to go inside there. So it sucks in, it goes through the sponge to the rock to the pump and then back up into a waterfall. And then when you want to change it or clean the filter, you just grab the handle, pull it out of the pond, take off the lid, squeeze that out, stick it back in, and you're good. I don't think I've cleaned it all season so far.
No.
June had a question, and I'm going to show her what it is. This is what I have in my backyard or in my basement.
Nice.
Your dimensions are down here, 25 inches high. It's like 63 and a quarter inches in length. Damn thing is heavy, believe it or not.
Well, those Rubbermaid ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
I've got 3 of them. I've got a 100-gallon, a 150-gallon, and a 300-gallon.
Nice.
The 150-gallon has been designated to be my Jaguar cichlids' new home here soon. So he is going to outgrow the tank he is in. Because when I got him, he was only about that big, and he's like that now.
Wow.
So he's growing quick, and I've only had him about 8 months. So, I mean, he's packing on some size, and he's going to get up to, I think they said like 17 or 18 inches.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think
I will
Mexico
house him.
was just at someone's house that had a big old Jaguar in there. He said it was
Yeah.
about the size of his whole forearm.
I'm going to keep him until I can no longer keep him, and then I'm going to rehome him. I hate to say it, but I'm probably going to take it to Ohio Fish Rescue.
Yeah. Well,
Turn it
it's,
loose in the monster pond, let it have fun.
it's better than other alternatives. I'll be right back.
We'll be right
With
here.
Katie.
That baby is adorable.
Oh, thank you. She spoils us.
Not very fussy, I can see, unless it's just a good day.
No, this is pretty much all the time.
Nice.
Yeah, she'll wake up once, maybe twice during the middle of the night, and that's rare. So we actually get sleep, and the only time she really cries is if she's hungry or she needs a diaper change.
Nice.
Yeah,
Hopefully it stays that way.
I know. I'm crossing my fingers.
Is this your first kid? I don't know the
Yeah.
logistics. Okay.
Yep.
They do bounce. I've never had one, but I used to babysit my little cousin all the time when he was born, and he decided when he was like big enough to stand up in his crib to flip himself out of it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah, he bounced. He was okay. I mean, I rushed him to the emergency room. I was like, oh no. I got him there. They checked him out. He was fine. I'm like, all right, so they bounce. I know that. That's about it. I know they eat, they poop, they cry, they bounce.
Well, that's good to know.
I don't have
Hopefully
any
she's
kids.
not.
Me and the missus can't have kids, so that's why we have fish and a dog.
Hey, whatever works. Kids don't have to be fearless.
They won't let us adopt either, which is sad. I can go to another state and get a child.
Yeah,
Literally.
that's crazy.
I can go to any other state and adopt a child, but in the state of Ohio, they will not let me.
Wow.
My wife got in trouble as a juvenile, and they charged her as an adult, and it's a felony. If you're a felon, you can adopt in the state of Ohio,
Wow.
and that was 23 years ago. Like, hasn't been in trouble since.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Wow.
Kid cared by Jim. Oh, I could, bolt all these tanks to the wall and start a daycare down here. Happy Place Daycare.
There you go.
Not happening.
Sounds like a nice name, though.
I've had people ask me about changing the name of my channel to Happy Endings Aquatics. I said, this is not a massage parlor.
No.
We're not in Little Korea. It's not happening. Oh, man. So, what is your ultimate goal with your fish room in this hobby? That's for both of you.
You have an answer for that?
To be done arranging.
That ain't ever gonna happen.
Yeah.
Never gonna happen.
I'd like to get to a point where it's a more relaxing place to hang out like it used to be. When we first moved here, it was a utility room in the garage. We had it set up for our power tools and supplies, workbench, stuff like that, and then we really got into darts. So we got a soft tip dart, set that all up, put a stereo out there because I love music, and end up getting a really cool dartboard that lets us hook up to a TV and see the score and stuff. And we played darts every night pretty much since we got here, except for the last couple months where now it is so stuffed full of crap that we can't play. And I'd like to get back to that point where we're playing darts again and hanging out. Playing darts around fish tanks may sound like a bad idea, but we're pretty decent. We make sure we hit the board.
None have ended up in the tanks yet, so.
No.
Or broke any.
Good. That's good.
But, I'd like to get back to that. I want a decent place to sit down for live streams. Since I'm redoing the spot where we normally sit for live streams, that's why we're even on the couch right now. And that and having the baby is just a little bit easier. We can still do live streams out there. We have, the two of us, so don't have to be around baby all the time, especially when she's sleeping. But I'd like to have a place to sit down that's nice and comfortable. We're sitting on these workbench stools, these bar stools with very little padding, and you do it like an hour and a half, and you go into 2 hours sitting on one of those things. Usually by the time we're done with our live stream on Monday, my butt's sore. It's time to get up and walk around.
Me and numb.
Yeah, numb more than anything, but to have it organized and set up the way I like it, that's kind of the main goal right now.
She was talking about, not rearranging it. That fish room is going to be rearranged 20 more times in the next 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
That's just what it is. I mean, I'm getting ready to rip mine completely apart again.
Yeah.
Well,
That's always going to be a thing, I think, in this hobby. You're always working on stuff. You're always rearranging, redoing things. So I expect that, but I need to get the clutter out of there. So what is garage stuff is going to go in the garage, and what is fish room and the other things that we do craft wise can be in that room, but not just a cluttered mess the way it is right now. Because man, we work, and now we have a baby, and it's like I get to it when I can, but
Yeah.
in the process, it gets pretty gets pretty sloppy, pretty unorganized.
Well, you got to figure. I mean, you work a full time job. You come home. You got to take care of your fish. Now you add a little one to it. I mean, it's gonna get there.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are gonna be wore out. And then when she gets to crawling and walking,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
woo, that's when fun's gonna happen.
Yep. Just
I would
wait till the
baby
point
proof
where she's
everything now.
big enough to help out.
Put her to work.
Yep.
Absolutely. Have a little helper in the fish room.
Oh yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I can't wait until she's a little older to actually focus on the tanks and see the fish and
Yeah. To know what she's looking at, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
yeah.
That's a good thing. For me, I've got to change some things down here before January. I got to go have my other hip replaced. So my wife will be
wow.
the one doing the maintenance. So I got to ease it up a little bit for her because between the two halves of my basement right here where my fish room is, there's like 30 tanks,
Yeah.
30, 33, and then I have 10 in my breezeway, and then I have some spread out throughout the house. So I've got to try to get it down to where it's easier for her to do. Uh, I do have a whole bunch of fry that nobody knows I have growing out in separate tanks. That's in my breezeway. I've got a 10 gallon rack built that I have fry in those. I've got two 75s in my dining room with my membership fish that those people are the only ones that see. Uh, just picked up a beautiful cichlid yesterday. I bought a Midas cichlid.
Ooh.
Oh yeah. I met if you guys. I don't know if you guys have ran across him yet, but Noisy Aquatics.
I think I've seen him in chat.
Yeah.
I met him yesterday. We ended up meeting in what the hell is it? Marblehead, Ohio, and then we ended up at a fish store. And this fish was just every time I would walk by the tank, it would swim right to me. Anybody else,
Yeah.
it wouldn't do it. But as soon as I walked by, it was right there. I'm like, all right, the fish, it picked me. It's going home with me.
It chose you.
It chose me. So now I have a Midas cichlid.
Nice.
So I've got to build a tank stand for that and put it in a 75 because it's currently in a 40 breeder. It just never ends.
We'd be in a lot of trouble if we had more to select from locally.
Oh yeah.
The fish store we go to is kind of a chain type. It's not a Petco or it's Pet Supplies Plus. I don't know how many of them are around. It's more of a franchise, so it's locally owned, but it's still a franchise. Um, Good people, just not the kind of selection you see in some of these bigger fish stores. Not by far. It's just a wall set up, basically, because it's a pet store. It's not a fish store.
We have more tanks than they do.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wow.
think so at this point. But so that's what we have, and it's about a half hour away. So that keeps us under control a little bit. But now that we're meeting so many more people, and I've been buying stuff on auctions online and having them shipped in, it's like, ooh, and I found a different way to get fish. I don't have to,
And they're healthy.
yeah. Is our furnace or
AC
AC
kicked
finally shut off?
That southern sun heat
What's
got hot.
What's the temperature up there?
Oh,
74. But I
Outside.
keep the temp in the house at 75 for river, and it got a little warm in here with the southern sun on the bedroom side, so it kicked in.
Ah. What state are you guys in?
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. I know, like right now outside, it's like 60, I think 63 degrees here. It's beautiful.
Yeah, we're at 74.7. That thermometer's facing the north
North.
side of the house, so it doesn't get any sun on it. So It's pretty accurate.
It is a comfortable 79 degrees in my basement with 44% humidity. Now, if I start moving around, the comfortableness is gone.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to be sweating like like I'm in a Richard Simmons video.
It's like Jake went in the greenhouse today. He's
Oh,
like, oh
God.
my gosh, it's
Well,
so hot.
we had a frost advisory a couple of nights ago, and
Friday night.
it didn't actually dip down that low, but I got scared, so I brought some stuff from outside into the greenhouse. We already have a bunch of plants in there, and then closed up all the windows so no frost would get in. And yeah, today it's been sunny and warm out. I walked in there, it was probably about 104 at 97% humidity. It was just dripping in there. I walked in, my glasses instantly fog up and take
Oh,
them
wow.
off. Yeah, it's like a sauna.
That's when you know it's hot. 104 by June. If
Wow.
Mexicali's in here, I'd like to know what the temperature is in Arizona. I don't think he's in there. But yeah, it's nice here. Supposed to be.
Next week, I think it's supposed to be almost 90s again. Or the end of this week. So we went from 60, 50, 60s back into the 90s. So it's a big swing.
Tommy said he approves of Pet Supplies Plus.
Yes.
Pet Supply Plus.
We're going to be in the high 70s and like to mid 80s next week. That's awesome. Hopefully it stays nice for my trip on Friday.
Where are you going Friday?
Canada.
Oh, you're
wow.
going up to that expo, right?
I'm going to the Canadian Pet Expo.
Cool.
Cool.
That ought to be
Are
a
you
good
gonna
time.
video?
I am. I'm going to meet up with a few people, make a couple of videos, a couple of not really a YouTuber, but he's I met him through like a Twitch live stream. And he's got a bunch of fish, but he doesn't have a channel. I'm trying to convince him to do it, but he's like, I don't have time. I said, all right then, never mind. So I'm gonna go up there and hang out with him. We're gonna make a video together at the expo. I'm probably gonna hit a couple of fish stores while I'm up there. God knows I'm probably gonna bring fish home.
Mm-hmm.
My wife is gonna kill me. I don't care. I mean, it's just gonna be a nice thing. It's 85 in Texas. Look at that, with a wonderful cool breeze. 85 is actually a cool down for them.
Yeah.
Tommy sent me a video that, I mean, he had his hand like that deep in a crack in the ground, like
from
mid
it being so
mid
hot?
forearm. Yeah, it was so hot.
Wow.
I was like, wow. Oh, we got a little competition video in the chat here. Let me see if I can find it. There's a competition between me, Scuba Stevo, and Birdo for who has the best looking parrotfish. It is anonymous. You're not going to know whose fish is whose. There's the link for anybody that wants to do it. It's going to be anonymous, though. So go in, comment,
I'll have to check
and
that
go
out.
from there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
However, mine is probably the sexiest one in there, just saying. I have to say that.
I wish I would have known that, because we got some pretty sexy parrotfish ourselves.
It just happened the other night on a live stream last Sunday when I had Scuba Stevo on. He was like, "We should do a competition." I'm like, "All right, let's do it," because I got a pretty good looking parrot. Hopefully nobody sees it in the background because I'll know which one's mine. There, I'll block him out so you can't see him.
And we've got a pair of blood parrots that are.
Very skittish.
I was kind of leery about them at first.
There we go.
I wasn't over the top for them. Katie really wanted to get them. I'm like, they just looked like to me looked like weird goldfish. They weren't anything that stuck out in my mind too much. But now that we've had them, seeing their behavior, and they've grown out a little bit more, they're growing on me. I actually really enjoy them. She's always right.
I have there's two in there. I got 4. I had 6 at one point, and I think two of them ended up trying to mate, and I think they ended up killing each other because I found them both dead the same day.
Oh no.
So I
That
think they
makes
beat the
sense.
crap out of each other. And there was eggs on a rock, and no other fish were near them. and they didn't make it very long. Somebody
Ours have
snagged them.
spawned.
Yeah, ours
But
have laid
nothing
eggs several
ever
times.
happened to them.
They don't get fertilized. So
If I could
either they're
find
both female or I don't know.
blood parrots are infertile.
The males, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna breed them, you're gonna have to either breed them with a Midas cichlid or a blood. What the hell is that other one?
With
A red devil
Yeah.
or a Midas cichlid, or you could probably
wasn't
maybe a
wasn't
flower
they
horn.
Flower horn,
Flower
I think
horn.
I heard of. Yeah.
Those are the three I think you can do them with. And I need to figure out if my Midas cichlid is a male or a female. Either way, I don't care, but I got to figure that out.
I'd like to breed them with convicts. Yes. If we could somehow work out something where I can get a convict from you, that'd be kind of cool.
We'll put them in a tank. We'll put on some berry white. Just let them go. I have the convicts that I have are actually convict red Honduran cichlid mix or Honduran red point. They're a close cousin of the convict. They look similar, but they're red.
Ooh, that sounds pretty.
Yeah, so mine are a mix of those. Honduran red point looks like a convict, but except it's got a little red on it. I don't like that blurriness behind me. That's actually messing with my eyes pretty bad. I'm not gonna lie.
I was
It's gotta
playing
go.
around with those backgrounds earlier, and Katie didn't like the blurred one either. She's like, "That's kind of creepy." Why it was
it's-
creepy, but
I guess I could put a brick wall up. I mean, now I just look like I'm sitting outside the local bodega. I'm gonna jack you for your watch as you walk by.
you should be Jay and Silent Bob or something. Or
Yeah,
you're at night at the Improv. What are these?
Those
The
pictures.
Honduran Red Point.
Yeah.
decent looking fish.
Yeah.
I got a soft spot for fish with blue coloration in them. There's so many fish out there that are yellow or red or variations thereof, but blue or something with like deep purple in it. What were those ones that we saw that I didn't?
They were calling them peacock cichlids, but I don't think that's what they were.
Our store is notorious for mislabeling their fish. That's for sure.
Oh,
Purple peacocks.
They were deep, dark, royal blue purple. I mean, it was just like beautiful, and they had dark stripes kind of down the side. Almost remind me of those, but they were more slender, more bullet shaped, I guess.
Yeah. I think they're in a South American tank.
They're probably a peacock.
Like
of
those?
some sort. The stripes were more
More convict looking on a stripe or a parrot's. The polars.
wider stripes and very uniformed kind of stripage.
Like tiger stripes.
Just a set of like 4 or 5 stripes kind of down the side of them.
I think I have an idea of what you're talking about.
Where are you
I
going?
actually think I have these. These might not be it
Shot.
either.
Nice butt shot, Katie. Oh,
Yeah, I think I actually have these fish. Like this guy right here.
it was like that, but I mean, there was no other color than very deep purple in it.
Bro, these are beautiful fish right here too.
They are.
I have 35 of these. So I messed up and I befriended my local fish store owner. Me and him became friends. And I'm going through and He calls me and he tells me he's got fish. I got to get this background off. That's bothering me as well. He's like, "Hey, I've got a whole bunch of fish over here. Nobody wants to buy them. You know, come get them." He's like, "Give me $1 a piece for them." I'm like, "Okay." I go and look at them. I'm like, "All right, yeah, they're that big." So I buy them. I throw them in the 55 upstairs. They're growing out. But I mean, me befriending him has got me more fish than I really need.
Yeah.
Because he'll call me. He's like, "Hey, here we go. Order what you want." Shit.
Well, that's a good way to like turn around, grow things out, and try to make some money maybe off of selling some of them.
Some of them I've got a few people that want some, and the rest are
Give them away. Yeah.
yeah. I'll sell some, give some away. I am man. The polar blues are out of my wheelhouse. Thank God I got rid of them. Now I got convicts. Next to Cali, what is the temperature out there today? I know it's only like 3:56 p.m. out there, but come on, let's hear it.
Yeah, it's gonna be the warm time of day probably. That mid-afternoon sun.
Absolutely. I don't believe the echo is from me.
I got some echo because I'm using a very directional microphone and it's kind of pointed, like I can turn it some, so it's very hot. Turned up the input on it, but this room is very echoey. It's very yeah, a lot of hard walls, hard floors, so it picks up a lot of the room noise. Unless you're talking about like an echo, like noise cancellation problems. But if you're hearing reverb, a little bit of reverb is my room.
I barely hear it, but I only can hear it for a second. Blue-eyed convicts are awesome. What's going on, Juanita? Welcome.
Hi.
Hopefully you're feeling better today. If you could remove a fish from the hobby, which one would you remove?
Mm.
Like a fish you think that should not be in the hobby.
I don't know if I have an opinion on that, to be honest. We're kind of noobs. um, I know from my own experience, I kind of regret the amount of common plecos that I own right now. Just because I know that they're going to get insane. We already have one. It was a rescue. It was about a foot long when we put it in the pond in the springtime, so I haven't really seen it since. And if it's alive, it's probably gotten much bigger. So I dread what I'm going to have to do with these once they get to a certain size. I don't think, in my opinion, I guess a common pleco is something that should be a little more explained to new people. Something that is a fascinating fish. I think they're wonderful to look at. They're so prehistoric, gnarly looking fish. I love them, but they do get big, very big. I don't know if there's anything that should be completely removed out of the hobby. I just think more information should be available to inform people before they buy them.
I have a sailfin common pleco in my 300-gallon pond with my goldfish. I mean, I dropped it and he was like maybe 2 inches long. Man, he's like 9 inches long right now. I mean, he is a beast, and I haven't had him that long. I was talking about which fish would you remove from the hobby if you could. We have the common pleco.
That was my opinion.
At first, I thought it was a Salvini until we realized it wasn't her.
You'd take a Salvini out of the hobby?
Well, remember when we thought she went after all the fish in the tank?
Well, yeah, that fish is pretty aggressive. She killed off. Well, That was partly because of just not knowing what we were doing, and we bring home fish, put them all into a common quarantine tank ahead of time, and not knowing that that Salvini is going to kill your rainbow, things like that, or having a bisher in with a pleco that's gonna die. Pleco's just gonna suck on it until it dies. I don't
I
know.
will
Is
not
there?
put one. I will not put a pleco in the. The cat's out of the bag. I have discus. I won't put a pleco in a discus tank. It
No,
ain't happening. Not a chance in hell.
I'd like
Uh,
discus. I'm not. We have never tried them, and I think they're a little more advanced for me right now. I would have to do a specific discus tank just to, because for one, they're expensive,
very.
and they're not an easy fish to keep, and they're very particular from what I've heard. So, and maybe eventually, I think they're beautiful though. But you would never find discus at our store that we go to. So
It's got to be the hard part for people that live in certain places that don't have like local fish stores. You got to, depend on Pet Supplies Plus or Pet Smart or there's another one I can't think of. Petco.
is this the one you think it was?
Yeah.
What's the name of it?
I don't know. I just got an image.
So this is more like the fish I was talking about that we saw. I don't know if it will shine
Okay.
too well on here. Even on her phone it says, what are these called? So Malawi, what is it?
Malawi.
Well, Lake Malawi is probably where it's from, but click on the forum, maybe somebody answered it.
Yeah, I have. I've got a lot of cichlids, a lot of African cichlids. I got like 2 or 3 tanks full of them. I'm slowly kind of drifting away from them. Like I've got some. I've got two. I've got a breeding pair of Kenyai cichlids or Kenii. They. I've got a whole bunch of their fry. I've got 2 tanks full of their fry actually growing out. Uh, I'm actually really upset. I lost one of my stud males, man. Had a
Yeah.
German strand yellow Xerox,
Hmm.
solid blue fish, and had a yellow mohawk all the way down it.
That's cool.
He was cool.
Yeah.
Found him dead after he just gave me an entire clutch of fry. Typically, the male kills the female. Well,
Mm.
something killed the male. And you guys were talking about having the Salvini being a vicious fish. Like I got some big fish. I got that big monster Oscar over my shoulder. I have the Jaguar. I've got a Midas cichlid. Now I didn't have before, but the most vicious fish I had in my room was a jewel cichlid. Killed an entire tank of Mbuna.
Man.
One little fish about that long was taking out 6 and 7 inch OB peacocks, like nothing. She was a murderer.
I think that's part of the reason why we haven't gotten into cichlids in general, other than, well, technically angelfish is a cichlid, but
South American.
the African cichlids we just never really got into. They're beautiful, but we're more into the. I really like community tanks. Having to be able to have a variety of different fish, and it's really hard to do that, at least for us, without having more experience and more knowledge. I mean, I just don't. It didn't take us long to get past the point of throwing fish together without knowing, because after you lose a few, common sense should kick in and be like, okay, wait a sec, stop doing that, learn some more before you just.
Yep.
For one thing, it's a waste of money, and it's sad because your fish are dying unnecessarily, and it's your own fault because you threw them in there. I mean,
The
but
trick with African cichlids is to overstock curbs of aggression. And then when you do your water
Right.
changes, redecorate the tank every time you do a water change.
okay,
It takes away territory, it takes away aggression.
right.
And then they'll
So they have to.
establish new territory. And by the time they establish a new territory, you're doing another water change and you're rearranging their home again.
Okay,
It's like having a
that makes
wife with
sense.
ADHD. She's always cleaning, always rearranging things. This right here is one thing that was 100% true. Cichlids will teach you common sense. I agree with that 100%. Mine are. I have to move my 90 gallon around all the time. Like I'll move plants around, I'll move the sponge filter around. Only thing I really can't change is the intake tube and the outtake for the canister filter. But everything else in it, I am moving because that 90 gallon typically gets like an 80% water change every 2 weeks. So the majority of my tanks get an 80% water change, except for this guy. That's that's a whole other subject.
Well, the problem with our fish room, we just don't have plumbing. It's away from the house. It makes a lot of 5 gallon pail bucket
Oh God,
carries between the house and there. So that's another reason I like to keep smaller fish, heavily planted tanks, keep a minimum on the amount of water changes you really have to do. And that's a that we have to do. Shouldn't say you have to do because, like you said, it's everyone's prerogative. A lot of people cringe at the things that we do with our fish tanks, but then again, uh, I'm a strong believer that if your fish are alive, one thing, if they're making babies,
you're doing something
they're
right.
swimming around, they're yeah, they're not going to make babies in an unhealthy environment. Usually that's not the case. If they're unhealthy, they're not going to make babies. If they're stressed out, uh, it's not going to happen.
That is a
Uh,
fact.
Take a look at the water. The water is good, looks clean, looks clear. The fish are good colored, no sores. They're just healthy looking. A little bit of algae, or even a lot of it. It's all a personal preference. Myself, I don't mind seeing um, some hair algae as long as it's not binding up water flow or binding up things. Babies love that. Most fish fry love hanging out in that. And I think it looks more natural. I try to keep my glass clean on the front panel at least so that I can see in there and make sure the water's flowing through whatever kind of filtration you're using. And to me, I like a more natural look. Because you go into any lake with some goggles on around here, it's going to look murky and it's going to look messy, and that's where the fish hang out. I kind of like that side of it.
I did find a name. It goes by a couple different ones. It's a Demisoni, also known as Pseudotropheus or a Chindongo Demisoni.
Tropheus.
I have one.
Pseudotropheus.
Pseudotropheus, so it's not a real
No, it just looks like one.
yeah, show that. Can't bring it up like that.
I've got one of those.
I think fish like that are just cool.
Absolutely.
Like I said, blue and purple fish stand out to me.
How many 4 to 5 inch fish can I put in at 90? Central and South American. Depends on the fish. I mean, I have 125 with probably, I don't know. There's 5 electric blue acara in there. There's 7 severums, 2 parrots, uh, BA tetras, breeding pair of personal nose plecos are in there. There's a Jack Dempsey in there. There's a one-eyed Bolivian ram in there. I mean, I've got a bunch of stuff in there. You could put a lot in a fish tank. I mean, I probably have in my Embona tank that's a 90-gallon African cichlid tank. There's probably 65 or 70 cichlids in there total, but they're all kind of like that. They're still growing. They're going to get moved into my old African 125, and I'm going to put my Walru in that 90.
Those are
That's the
nice.
plan, man. I
Walrus are
got a
cool.
I got a bad story about those. So I bought them. I was ready for them. I set this tank. I bought this tank secondhand. I cleaned it up. I bought this like 5 days after I had my hip replaced. I mean, I messed around in the garage, was able to get it cleaned up, was able to get it resealed, waited till my hip was better, got it in the basement, got it on the stand, set it up, cycled it. I mean, I did the full cycle. We're talking, I mean, I was damn near 2.5 months before this thing completed the cycle, like the way I wanted it to be. I went and bought 11 Walru. Oh, yeah. $25 a piece. I'm dumb. Slapped them in there and I said, let's go. I lost every one of them within a month. They started to present with something that was like ick, but it wasn't ick. It wasn't Epistelis. And the treatment for ick sped it up and killed them.
Wow.
I mean, like that. Done.
Like
I lost
velvet or something? Do you think?
velvet.
Yeah.
I have a friend who does stuff like that on the side. It's not technically, his job, but he can look at it. I gave him one of them. He said, "Yeah, it's velvet, 100%." And treatment for velvet is copper. Didn't
Velvet's
know that.
nasty.
No, I know.
That's some nasty stuff.
So I waited a
I've
while.
never had to deal with that.
Man, knock on wood, that was the only time. I nuked that tank. I'm not even going to lie to you. Like, I took a fully cycled tank and I destroyed it. It's a 90-gallon tank. I probably put 1.5 gallons of peroxide in it and let it run.
Mm-hmm.
From Bethany. Can you help me?
Oh, shit. I will be right back.
No problem.
I think my wife is outside. She said, "Can you help me?" Uh-oh.
She's got a package to bring in. What's going on in the chat? I can't put them up on the screen, but I haven't been able to watch it too much. Go to new comments. I go right to the bottom of the chat. J-Rock's in here. What is up, J-Rock? Jorge, we've seen you been in here. Animal Instinct. A lot of you have been in here, but it's different watching, talking, being a guest than looking at the live stream. Oh, the baby's making noise. Is she gonna come back out? So how you guys think we're doing so far? Being on Jim's channel. I think you should all try it. You should all be guests on Happy Place. Yep, 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 yep. J-Rock, you're having a bad day, dude? It sucks. You know, I don't know what I can say. If you're having a bad day, I don't know what to say to make it better, but, we all have bad days. Guppy tank got something in it, and it's killing all my guppies. I can see like an oil on the water. I have probably 100 dead guppies as we speak. Now, protein slicks on the top can look kind of oilish, like rainbow colored. Perhaps someone stuck their hand in there when it was dirty with something. I've done that myself. Where I was working on something greasy and crappy, and went into my fish room and noticed something, and just have instinct just reached in there to move something. I'm like, crap. It wasn't long enough to do any damage, but it was just like, can't believe that I dipped my hand in there without even thinking, knowing that my hands were just dirty.
I didn't even see you there. What's up, J Rock?
Saying he's got about 100 dead guppies right now because of something's killing it off, and he's noticing something that looks like oil on the water. I told him like protein slicks kind of look that way, but they don't normally are going to kill your fish unless it's reducing any surface agitation, which that can do. It makes it harder for any bubbling to happen at the surface. But maybe a dirty hand on accident.
It has to be something. I mean, something.
That sucks.
I had I got a hold of a lady who had a whole bunch of African cichlids. They were Johanni Blue Dolphin mix. So they were beautiful. So I go there, I pick them up. I ended up buying a tank off of her that was broke. And she gave me all of her fish, including two beautiful plecos that were just too big for me. I had to get rid of them. I hate to say it that way. I didn't get rid of them. I rehomed them. And I kept all the cichlids. I had a heater malfunction. The tank was 121 degrees. I mean, cooked
Yeah.
all these beautiful fish. I mean, I understand to lose a whole bunch of fish. There was probably like 25 of them.
Yeah, it looks like J Rock lost the entire tank. They were fine when he got up and just got back from the store, and the entire tank is dead.
Sorry,
Something
bud.
got in there, dude. Something. That wasn't a natural buildup of something. That was a. Wonder what the heck would have caused that, dude.
I don't know. Only thing I could think that's oily across the top. I mean, like you said, it's proteins, but that's typically. I know he plants his tanks. I know his plants are planted. I wonder if it's something that the plants let off.
I mean,
Anything is
chemicals
possible.
laying around, something that I don't know. I mean,
Man, I've lost an entire tank of guppies before, so I understand. That's gut wrenching.
sorry to hear that, man. That's
Really sorry to hear that. Carbon is definitely your friend. I agree with that. You say it in the words of Joey, the king of the DIY mall, and activated carbon. You got it.
carbon.
Carbon.
I don't use carbon a whole lot anymore.
I do after doing a big dose of medication or something. After it's all
Oh
said and
yeah,
done, I'm on it
for
then.
sure. I like it like with brand new tanks that I set up because you never know. You wash them out, but in new filters, you don't know what kind of manufacturer oils or particles and stuff. So I like to run it when I'm cycling a tank, but you know, certain situations I don't use it all the time. I used to, but it seemed like it wasn't that necessary for me anymore to use it all the time.
Majority of the time on my tanks when I'm treating them now, I've been going with salt. There's
Yeah.
not much salt can't cure.
Yeah, when I first set up our Tetra tank, it got ick bad. 'Cause I bought a bunch of fish all at once, so I just set up the tank. I didn't worry about quarantine because they were all new. And a couple days it was ick, and that was my first and only encounter with it, and it was bad. They went from bad to worse overnight, like in a heartbeat, and I had no idea what was going on. You can hear the baby.
Oh, I do.
So after first finding out what it was, I looked into different instantly just started searching out ways of how are we going to cure this. I don't have much of anything, and as far as medications around, and the store that we shop at doesn't really sell much of anything. So, looking at Father Fish's videos, he said raise the heat up, and I don't even know if he said to add salt. But I know that on Joey's channel that he said it's hard to come by a lot of the medications in Canada. So he said, raise the heat and add salt. So we did. I did kind of a combination of what Father Fish said and what Joey said, and it got rid of it in a matter of a couple days. It was amazing. Raised the heat up to like 80, 88 or something like that.
86 is ideal.
86 something. I think
Yeah.
I set it up to like 88 just to make sure that. I think that's why I had to put the settings at. But watching the thermometer stuff hovered around 87. Either way, I did that and added some salt, and it took care of it.
Thank you.
And fish are still alive. They're still
Yeah,
healthy.
absolutely. Thank you, Sue Ann. This is what I use, and this is probably going to upset a lot of people, but if you use aquarium salt, this is the same thing, but it costs you less.
Sorry, y'all. Got to do laundry.
That right
All
there.
your time.
Laundry
Well,
time.
That right there is 100% pure salt.
I've seen that before.
$7.27 for 40 pounds.
Wow.
I use it in just about every one of my tanks. It takes care of just about everything.
That's good to know.
Yeah,
For
and it's
sure.
going to save you an arm and a leg.
Oh, yeah. You can't even get a little container of API aquarium salt for that much.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Depth charge. That's a cool name, too.
Absolutely. Blowing some stuff up from the depths. But, I have the natural blue Acara when I got them. I put them in a 75. I had it set up. And these guys, I mean, they had so much ick. I mean, it was so bad. And New Bern Aquatics was on I actually had him on a video chat with me. And I drained the tank to about that deep. And I literally probably put enough salt in there for, 150 gallons. And I let the fish just swim through it as it dissolved. And I'm watching him. I'm like, he's like, oh my God, dude, you're going to kill him. I said, hold on, I'll show you. So the fish started getting lethargic. You know what I mean? Swimming a little weird. I just hit them with the water real quick. And then they were fine. The next day, they were almost completely free of spots. So I waited 2 days. I did it again. Completely free of spots after that. Haven't had an issue since. And I do it every time I change their water because I've wanted those fish for a while. I mean, I was drooling over those fish. And then I got them. And then now I got this girl down here just staring at me because she wants something I have. My 12-year-old or 11-year-old pit bull.
Pork rinds.
Oh, she wants my wife's pork rinds over here.
Can't handle it.
I agree. Epsom salt is amazing as well. It helps with bloat and goldfish. Does also help with constipation in any fish as well. Believe it or not, it helps you as a human.
Helps
You can
in
soak
healing.
in it.
Did you just say that?
Yeah.
You can soak in it. You can drink some of it and, help you use the restroom a little better.
Yeah. We use it even in our garden.
Yeah.
Peppers and tomatoes. Put
Keeps
it
the
on
bugs and stuff away too. Yeah, I mean, Tommy's got it right. Oh,
making baby noises.
oh yeah.
Can't
The little noises.
Gets me every time.
Oh yeah.
Fuzzy hair back here will not lay down. So between this fuzzy little noodle and
Good old colic.
eating sounds, it's like Yeah.
That is hilarious.
Wrapped around her finger already. Yep.
The baby is definitely going to get all the love on this stream. Helps with root absorption. Epsom salts does.
Yep.
But as far as like the aquarium salt is, I mean, it's basically labeled as aquarium salt, but it's just pure salt. They put aquarium on anything and it makes it more expensive.
Yep.
But that stuff, I mean, for that stuff being is $7 a bag. I mean, that's cheap. I say that now, and I probably just skyrocketed the price up. I'll go back there and it'd be like $40 a bag. But I mean, it's what my local fish store is the guy that actually turned me on to that. He was like, "Try this." He told me it works. I'm looking at him like, "Huh?" He's like, "Just slap it in there, you'll be fine." So I did, and here we are. You know, you just got to keep the fish healthy is the best part, and a lot of the things that I see is that people can overcome is just by doing maintenance.
Yeah.
You know, like hole in the head in an Oscar. It's because it has poor water quality.
Mm-hmm.
Even June can tell you that. That's the most common cause of hole in the head in any fish is poor water quality. Another thing we do is every time we go by the fish tank and the fish is right there, thinking, oh, it's hungry. We overfeed our fish too. That causes them to get bloat.
Oh, yeah.
We all do it. I'm guilty of it. So.
Yeah, overfeeding a tank in general just causes all sorts of issues. I've been learned that without any real problems other than just watching water quality degrade, causing algae, causing too many snails. You'll see snail population will kind of take off if you got snails in your tank. Little indications like that, but yeah, it's really easy to overfeed.
Really easy to overfeed.
Well, it's so much fun. That's like this, our interaction with our fish, feeding them.
Yeah. You know, knock on wood, I have not had a hole in the head on any fish I've had. We do take care of them pretty well. Hell, I think I did 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I did 17 tanks today.
Nice.
That was my my routine for this Sunday. You're not getting them. I don't know why you're looking.
Those are mine.
He is staring. I mean, staring at this bowl of chips.
Nope.
Just in case one falls out, he's gonna be
Yeah,
ready.
it's doing tricks, you know. I'll get off camera and eat my pork rinds.
Yeah. We
Pork rind cam.
Oh yeah. Pork rind camp.
I love them.
She loves them. I used to eat them a long time ago. They're not too good for my blood pressure.
If we ate right now using the mic I have on, you'd hear everything. Just
I'm sorry. Okay, I won't
No,
do
they're
it.
like they have a way.
no.
Oh, okay. I'm like, I'm
just-
sorry. I won't do
I
it.
just got it. It's not. It's a combination of the mic and I've got it running through an audio interface, so I've got the gain turned way up because it's kind
That's what I
of
wore today.
far away.
The socks I wore today, y'all.
The Monopoly socks.
Nice.
Do not pass go. Do not collect $200.
You must have the Monopoly socks.
Yep.
She was feeding the baby, and every time it was drinking, it was like,
Yeah, they make noises like cats do.
uh-huh.
It's funny. Little babies.
The baby has on a camo onesie.
Shh.
The
Perfect.
camo onesie is awesome. Oh, look, babe.
Ugh.
So cute.
My uterus doesn't appreciate it.
I told him we can't have kids.
That's because I have a device.
Well, now you do. We still couldn't before.
She's a miracle because Katie wasn't supposed to be able to have kids either.
What do doctors know? They don't know shit.
You know, facts. They told my grandma she'd never have kids, and my grandfather told the doctor, "I'll be the judge of that." Well, 11 kids later.
Like,
Yeah.
get off of her.
My poor grandma was only like 4'10". She popped out all them kids. I missed the new baby smell. The new baby smell it's awesome.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Smells like a placenta.
We're not talking that new.
You know, they asked us if we wanted to keep the placenta. I've never been asked that before.
But yeah,
There's more than one.
Is that a thing?
Because people do. They make shampoo. They eat it. They're weirdos.
I remember we were watching
You know,
this
I think
one.
I heard about people eating the, yeah.
Yeah.
This lady was making placenta pate. I'm like, no.
Mm.
No. I've ate some weird things in my day, but no.
No hard
Yeah,
pass
it'd
on that. I don't even
have
think you
to
can make
be
it
the-
look pretty enough for me to eat something like I'm gonna know what that is.
What's the point of it?
Doesn't it make you a cannibal?
I would. It's like eating your own boogers or something, you know, or eating your own scabs.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Boogers are 97% human skin.
Right.
Legit.
Ugh.
So when you pick your nose, that could be the dude you were sitting next to at the restaurant. Creepy, right?
How many
Little
boogers are under the table?
Like, we'll just stick them there. It's fine. It'd be a punishment for the kids, you know. Once a year, here's your little plastic scraper. Don't act like we don't know what you were doing all year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's
Scrape
right.
duty.
it was so gross.
Well, I wonder how this competition is going.
For my parrotfish?
Well, we don't know whose is who, so you got to shush. We know who ours. I know who every one of them belongs to. So
Well, it's mine.
okay, I'll let it play again. We'll actually we'll bring it on the screen. There it is. Got 1, 2, or 3. And Tommy just said so far, number 1 is winning.
That's the one you just saw. Oh, that's number 1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So if you look at the way it is,
That's
Number 1's Jim's with the green plants.
that's not mine.
No?
No. I'm not allowed to say and or confirm and or deny, but no, that's not mine.
I think I know which one is yours. I'm not gonna.
It's not his.
It's not mine.
I know
Technically,
which one though.
it's mine.
Okay, which one? Okay.
No,
All the parrots are mine.
they're all mine. All 3 of those are mine. I own all 3 of them. So if you're voting for me.
Yay!
I bought Steve-O and Birdo's. I own them all.
The Oscar is gigantic.
That Oscar is a monster.
You need to feed him some krill.
He's a 14-inch monster. So I bought him as this big. That dude is 14 inches long. That is his tank, but he gets beat up on by a little baby Severum.
Yeah, they're not mean Oscars at all. They just hang out, float around, do their thing. They're happy. They'd be happier with a better light, but you know.
I think
I like
eventually
it.
we'll
I
have
like
some Oscars. We'll see.
Alexa,
Katie
turn on
really wants them.
better light. Look at that.
Still looks like hot trash.
Hot trash. Look like hot Cheetos back there.
Listen, hot Cheetos taste delicious. I will not eat them because they're red. Like, you're not supposed to eat that color in general. What makes it that color? Nothing natural. I'm eating that.
Right.
It literally creeps me out. Like, hard pass. I will eat those red pistachios though.
Red ones?
Yes. Okay, so I grew up 100% Sicilian, and my grandma always had the red ones in the dish on the table. Always. Which I give her major credit for, to be honest with you, because her whole house was white. Her couch was white, her carpets were white. Like,
White.
but she gonna serve you salsa and marinara and all these nice kinds of like.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, did nobody spill nothing?
Nope.
No, like I don't think it ever happened. Julia, maybe my autistic cousin, like, cause I mean, motor skills stuff, whatever. Like maybe a couple times there, but like, no, we knew better.
That's almost down and dirty to be like completely
I mean, she's a
white
gangster.
everything.
I'm telling you,
And
when she
here's
moved
a
out of that
couple
house,
bottles of ketchup.
35 years later, or
Yeah.
something like that, that carpet still looked exactly the same.
It was
Like she
still
had
white.
somebody come in and like professionally clean it. Like I would have loved to seen the water that actually came out of that
Oh
carpet.
yeah, that was definitely a white glove house. Let me tell you.
Shit, mine's not. I got clothes
Ours is
everywhere.
not either. Ours is.
That's because people live there.
I lived there.
This is the only clean, somewhat clean spot, just so we can have a
With your
spot to sit
boppy.
down. Yep.
Those are the
I
best
Everything
was
pillows
else
some
ever.
baby stuff and
Yeah. Sneak peek, everyone.
Oh, those are pretty
Oh, wow.
flowers.
I was on the TV.
Oh, you need to move.
The house is probably bigger than ours.
We just bought this house.
Oh, then you need a smaller drum set.
That's my friends. I just need to get it back to them.
Like you just need just a smaller one then, and everything will be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
No problem.
That's
We,
just my office area that has to be redone.
I'm sorry, that's so funny. Like my friend just left their whole drum set here. It's fine. He said he'd be back for it, so like
that's
Um,
what I said.
it's
He was-
cool. Like
he
that's a
was
normal
moving
thing, right?
Yeah. He's moving, so I was storing it for him because,
Was you storing it or was you playing it?
well, I
Yeah.
haven't played it yet. I've played it before, but not since I've been storing it for
I
him.
am the best air drum player ever. I'm serious. I'll be rocking out in the car.
I love the air drum.
Jimmy laughs at me all the time.
Yeah.
He's just like, oh my God. Like, listen, I was an only child. This is what I do.
I air drummed to one song and one song only. In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins.
Yes, everyone has to do that.
It's like,
Yep.
Oh, I get them all. Sometimes I'd be swerving on the highway. I get too into it, but
James, where's my lighter?
I have no idea. I was just looking for it. I have no idea where it is. You cleaned up over here, so wherever you took it, or you probably took it out of here.
Marie, go find a lighter. There's no look. No more. No more pork rinds. In my
Pork rinds
bob.
for you.
Bro, my dog is
I don't know what the bob filter.
probably 95 pounds.
She's perfect.
She's perfect. She's chunk, but she's
No,
perfect.
no, she's perfect. She is chunky.
She's chunky.
We like them chunky. She's fine.
Chunky dog.
We've had her since she was about 5 weeks old. She could barely open her eyes. She could barely walk. She fooled us at least. You know, she made us think she couldn't walk. She could walk. And
She's
then
the best dog ever.
I messed up and I put her right here the first night I had her. Now she's 95 pounds and thinks she can still lay there. I'm like, no,
Oh, she does too. And you don't stop her.
no. Now wherever she goes, I'll let her later.
Where you fitsy sits?
I like dogs. It's not the little one that we just had recently that I rehomed.
Leave HB alone.
HB is gone.
It's because he's a little meth head.
This dog he chewed everything up. He chewed a couple pairs of slippers up, chewed a hole in the carpet. I mean, that's the one time that my dog went from the hallway to the dining room without touching the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was mad.
The carpet, huh? Man. Yeah, that
Jimmy.
I wouldn't be able to
Jimmy,
hang
me
out
my
with that
ass.
either.
Jimmy, me my ass. Leave my ass alone.
Stop breaking stuff.
Ugh.
You know what? When it comes to, just having finesse and doing things gently, that's not the person to call.
Yes, I am.
No.
Yes,
No.
I am.
Manhandle everything.
That's because things should cooperate, know what I need them to do before I put my hands on them and figure it out.
Like this unscrews to take the batteries out. If she can't unscrew,
No, it unscrews. I got that.
she'll try to break it if it won't unscrew.
I'll chew it open with my teeth. I really won't do it.
No finesse.
My dad's that way. He will tighten down a bolt on a piece of plastic something, until it shatters. And you can just see, because he's strong, you just see him torque, and then it snaps. And he's like, whoa, piece of crap. And just junk. That's junk. It's like, you didn't need to torque it that tight, Dad. This thin piece of plastic.
Everything has a torque specification. That's what I stress to the guys I work with. They're always in a hurry trying to get everything done. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And they end up breaking a bolt off. I said, if you would have taken the time and extracted it the proper way, I'm like, this job would have taken you a lot less time. Now you got to drill and tap something.
Yep, ramrods.
And they come and get me. Oh, can you get this out? I said, yeah, I can get it out, but I'm not going to. You're going to. I'm sorry. You got to learn. I'm not going to be there every time to hold your hand.
Yep.
Did you what? I don't need you to hold
I'm
my
not talking about you. It's not Bob, and your name's not Dave.
Oh, but I thought it was really funny on one of your streams how you told them that you're going to show me what you needed me to do. You forgot the fact that I took care of this entire fish room for a year.
Different fish.
No, same fish. I'm just not stealing babies. I will not steal any mother's children.
I'm going to teach her how to do it.
No. I don't want to touch them.
Right here you go. Quarter patch snap is torque spec.
Like, yep.
Go to, and then go back a quarter turn. Yeah, I mean, it's just, you just got to take your time and extract things, and it makes life a lot easier.
Yeah, one of the early things I learned from a mechanic on rusted bolts and stuff is to rock them back and forth. Don't just keep going trying to loosen it in one direction. Loosen. You gotta give it a left and then a right. Left, right, and just
That's what he
wiggle
always
its way, spray it, wiggle it.
Wiggle it.
You know where
Just
people
a
mess up
little
too? On stainless steel. Everybody tries to heat stainless steel until it's cherry red.
Mm-hmm.
It'll break every time. You get stainless steel warm, let it set for a second, and it's just right off.
Yep.
People don't realize that.
Say hi.
Well, it's way too brittle when it gets hot.
Well, stainless steel, as it goes together, it mars. So basically wears itself out as it's going in. It's kind of trying to rethread itself, I should say, as it does it. It's just the way it's designed.
Should I rethread it?
I mean, you can cross thread some things, but
That's rethreading. I'm making my own. Like, I can't put a hose nozzle on to save my life.
no.
I can't put the hose on the spigot.
On the outside, she can't screw it on. It's always cockeyed or not on.
But you know what? Last time when I got the brand new hose, it went on there really good. I did a good job. It only took me like 4 tries.
That's what I was going to ask you. Doing water changes in your fish room, can you run a water hose out there?
Yeah, I do that in the summertime,
Okay.
but in the wintertime, I'm not.
Yeah,
No.
that's cold.
Not doing it. It's way too cold here, so it's buckets. The plan was to run a water line this summer, but
River had other ideas.
yeah.
Where's
So
he from?
eventually, we're gonna run water out there, and it's gonna be awesome. I can't wait.
Minnesota? Where are you from?
I think it was what? Wisconsin?
Wisconsin, yeah.
Wisconsin. I think it's cold up there. It's up by
They got cheese.
it's up there by Shane.
Hey, I know where Wisconsin is. It's right under Canada.
I got a buddy named Shane that lives up there.
He laughs at my geographical knowledge.
No, dude. No. No.
Don't tell the world.
I'm not
Don't you?
I'm not
Don't
going
you
there.
dare.
No.
No, you can because it's actually really funny. And I
No.
just smoke hella weed, so like that would be the reason. Because I'm actually a genius. Like I tested a genius level. Super, super smart. Dumb as hell.
Dumber in a boxer.
I
Like,
get it.
like wait, what? Or I start to overthink things. Like, wait a second. What if you did this instead? Whoa! I went down a wormhole.
Bro, she thought Oklahoma is where North Dakota is.
I was seriously convinced I could drive to Alaska via Russia.
Yeah.
Well,
I made
sometimes
him
a year,
Google. I made him Google it and prove me
when
wrong.
it freezes over the Bering Strait there.
Yeah, it's like a 7-mile maritime border across. I was like, technically, still attached.
No.
Yep. No land, but when it freezes over there, you can make it.
But like, I wholeheartedly thought like that was legit. That you could really do it.
I
Convinced.
remember once, and this was probably, well, it was a long time ago, around 5th grade, I forgot how to spell the word of. I was trying to do a report of some sort, and I racked my brain. I had to go out and ask
I'm just like,
my
how do you
mother, and
spell?
she's like, "What are you talking about? Of?" I'm like, yeah, I can't think of how to spell.
I love it.
After, and I'm just like,
She probably just looked at you like, you know what? We're just gonna pull you right out of school, babe. Like it. You know what? It's fine. You obviously, it's not for you.
You based it. It smells like antifreeze.
Oh yeah, cigarettes always smell like antifreeze.
and
Because
I've
that's
had IQ tests too. I test way up there. I'm not going to say the numbers because it's
most
Weird, but
most people do though. It's weird. Like
tested way up there, but I'm absent-minded as hell. Like it doesn't take much.
that's because you're
Yeah.
doing like in your brain you're doing this and this and like you move like I move a mile a minute, which is why I always have bruises. I run into stuff constantly. Like
I don't even speak properly. Like I either talk way too much or I pause on
super fast or
Necessarily.
super slow. Yeah.
because my brain's trying to. It's going, but I'm already on to like 3 thoughts ahead of time before my mouth can spit it out.
See, like, and if you paused when you like, if you talked to me for real and you paused, I would just stare at you like this, and then what? Because I actually like
Spit
really
it out.
focus. Yeah, well, I focus and really pay attention to when people are talking because obviously it's important to them. So I want to hear it, and I'd be sitting there like, what? Finish the story.
Yeah.
I like when you're
Finish
talking to
up
somebody and you
fucking
forget what
story.
you're talking about.
I do that all the time.
They're like, oh shit, I forgot what I was talking about. You better remember it.
I ask him a lot, like, wait, what was I saying? Because you like interrupt me for half a second, and then my brain goes to something else, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
oh shit, I
Total
can't get back.
sidetrack.
Like I
Off
can't
the
get
rails.
back.
See, that's the problem with me at work. If I like,
I think that's an '80s thing.
I'm the manager now / lead technician. I work on dumb shit, whatever I want. You know what I mean? And these guys expect, like, when they can't figure it out, I have to figure it. And that's kind of rough for me because I have to remember everything that I'm doing, and then on top of it, doing something else.
Good idea, Mystic Pets.
So
We've done that too. Sometimes when we run our water, it smells really chlorinated. Like
I
so it'll
won't do
smell
it.
like bleach. Like nope. And we won't do water changes.
Mm-hmm.
Rotten
Get
eggs.
that with city water.
always
Sometimes
sulfur.
they'll flush the lines and they'll
Mhm.
do weird stuff. And
Oh, you can smell it.
mm-hmm.
Like not today. No.
I was gonna do. I actually did a water change on my African cichlid tank, and it smelled like chlorine. And I'm like, you know what? I'm already halfway done. I ain't got no choice. So you can do like 4 times the amount of the one chemical I use. You can do it up to 4 times.
You're not gonna say what kind?
Fritz complete. Don't whatever you do, don't get this on any shirt you care for. It will bleach it.
Ah,
As bad as that sounds, it will take the color out.
And for real, like the only reason I get it like that, it's the pump bottle. You can only get it in like the 8-ounce size, I think, or some shit. But it's one pump per 10 gallons. It's so easy. Like,
So I
I
buy the
like
bigger
that
bottle
idea.
and then fill the little bottle.
yep, done. Bought the little bottle one time. So the little bottle you actually have to buy from the site that sells it, which I'm not even going to promote. The site that sells it, they have it. But after you buy the pump bottle, you can buy that shit off of Amazon.
Right.
But they do not sell the pump.
This stuff works good too, but you got to be careful with it because it can definitely kill fish.
Yeah, it's
That
highly
thing smells like
concentrated.
hard
I have
stuff.
some of that. I haven't used it yet.
Yeah,
I usually use Prime.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I like to treat the water before I add it, but if I'm doing water changes with a hose, then I add enough for the entire tank, and then before adding the new water, like after
That's what we
pulling
do.
out the water, I treat it for the water capacity of that tank, and then just start spraying the water in, and never had a problem.
Nope.
That way. But I do prefer to put it in the water first ahead of
I
time.
get that. You can see that. We used to use
It's just peace of
like,
mind, I
guys
guess.
dress
I don't
coat
know.
forever, but you use so much of it with big
Yeah.
tanks, so much.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, I can't afford this crap.
Yep, they use stress coated. The API water conditioner is pretty well concentrated too. Like
Yeah, the API water conditioner I use for the 300-gallon stock pond because it's literally like a cap full.
I tried Prime though. It's like I bought special syringes just for dosing things if I needed to, and they were cheap. But it was like a half a milliliter for a 5-gallon bucket. So
Nice.
it
That's nothing.
doesn't take much. You wouldn't think like it's a couple drops. Bloop, bloop.
I mean, really, yeah.
Stir it up and then
See, that's why I love that pump bottle that we have. It's literally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Done.
Done.
Yeah.
Just done.
Look at all these little baby sunroofs.
Ugh, in your nasty tank.
Absolutely. Nastiest tank I have.
I hate it so much.
This tank drives her nuts because she wants to clean it, and, and I told her no.
Because the
That's
babies,
what
they eat the
I
algae.
presented that a while back. I wanted people to film their nastiest tank and just show
There it
off.
is. There it is. It's ugly as hell.
It ain't that ugly.
It's bad.
It's not bad.
It's horrible.
It's not bad.
Don't let him lie to you.
Not bad at all.
It's like a vegetarian's paradise.
It's not a vegetarian's paradise.
Yes, it is. There's algae everywhere.
La-da-dee-da. Let's go to my channel. Go to
A
my
lot of
shorts.
times, what's clean for us isn't clean for fish. Fish clean and human clean generally are a little bit different.
Ugh.
There you go.
Yes.
Ew.
Look at all those fish swimming, though.
Uh-huh.
And they're always, baby, that door is open if you need
That
to go
is the
potty. Don't play with
healthiest. I grow all my fry in that tank, typically. Like the
Oh,
ones
yeah.
I'm going to personally keep.
me. Aurora G.
Those are all turquoise sunroofs.
The door is open. Go potty.
But that's the one I grow them in typically. And they do well. I mean, right now they're 2 weeks old and they're like that.
What?
Most fry I've ever seen, they love heavily algae
Yeah, I
tanks
don't like it.
that.
Oh, and I got some Kenya cichlids right now upstairs in the tank. I got them in front of the window. And that corner tank, there's no algae on the glass because of those little fish are eating it.
Nice.
Cichlids eat algae.
Yeah, well, we
The little baby
blacked
ones.
out the back of the tank.
I blacked out the back of the tank. I wanted to use it by the window where the sun hits it. I'll use it as a heater. So it heats that tank. The one next to it, I do have a heater on because they need to be a little warm. So I've got those they're all doing great.
In the winter, you won't have to run heat in there at all.
Yeah, in the winter, I won't even have to run heaters in there at all. It stays warm.
If we would have shut off the air vent, you probably wouldn't have had to run heat in there because it gets hot. It's like a little greenhouse. in
Man,
there.
next year I should do it in the attic. I won't need a heater at all.
Ha!
Right?
Summertime, it's like 140 degrees in my attic.
Kind of
Man.
warm.
Who's
It's like a
who's
swimming
carrying
pool up
all
there.
that up there?
That
My friend.
python-
Huh?
That
Huh?
python right up off the side.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking about the tanks.
Oh, I'm not doing that. Put some tens up there.
No.
Yeah.
We would have an arm out the window with a pulley system, like hooked up, ratchet strapped, good, like a dumbwaiter.
Man, this
Right.
man, my 240 took all four. I mean, four full grown men could do to get it down here. Thing's 550 pounds empty, and it took all 5 people could do to get it on the stand.
Yeah, our big tank's acrylic, so
That people
it's
was
nice. Not that heavy.
That
How you gonna give men all the credit?
you were
That
involved.
fifth person was me.
And I said it took 5 of us to put it up there.
I walked away when they carried it down the stairs. I was literally waiting for 2 specific cuss words. Like, I just stood in the kitchen, like, oh God, please don't let me hear it. Please, I'm begging you. And he was like, all right, we're good. Like, oh, thank God. All right, I'm coming to lift it. I didn't want
Yep.
anything to do with it going down the stairs.
I was looking forward to getting that tank, and then once I got it, I got kind of I ain't gonna lie, I got lazy. I didn't want to reseal it.
That's a whole lot.
That's a whole lot, man.
Yeah.
I got 2.5 tubes of silicone in that tank.
Oof.
I mean, it's a lot of silicone.
We only use one specific kind.
I use one kind.
And they should sponsor us.
They ain't gonna sponsor me.
They should.
Gonna send me a case of friggin' silicone that I'm not gonna use.
Yeah, huh? I'll start a business and
Reseal
steal everybody
tank.
else's tanks.
Okay. I think I've seen that online before.
Yeah, that's the only one we'll use because it's actually silicone grade. I know people say like you can use the GE whatever
The
or whatnot.
GE
Like,
one.
I'm not doing
window.
it. I've had great luck with this, and it does come in like we always get the clear. It does come in black and it comes in blue too.
I've used GE silicone one, not to build any tanks, but to making my own sponge filters and stuff, silicone things together and have it in the water. I've never had
I don't know.
issues with
Hungry?
it.
No, she's not hungry. She's a fat ass. She eats all the.
Dinosaur big ass can be hungry.
How many times you gonna try to knock that over, Aurora Jean? The door's open for you.
Oh man. I don't want to go to work.
I know that I'm probably going to have to take off here soon.
Yeah, we're about at the end of it anyway. I do about 2 hours is what I do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see that now on there. Yeah, 157.
I usually do a 2-hour streams with a guest, you know. The whole purpose is to get to know people. And it's not about the, you know, it's some about the hobby, some about the people. I just want to know who you are, what you do, what you like, what you don't like. What's your favorite fish, though? That I didn't ask you.
I'd have to say mine are my favorite fish. I would say a neon tetra. And it's hard for me to pick, but that's a fish that I've kept from a young age, and it's just something about those little blue guys, blue and red, that it takes me back every time I see them. So they're one of my favorite, most common fish probably out there, other than goldfish.
Mine's the electric blue Acara.
Yeah.
It's what actually got me back into the hobby.
Our goldfish got us back into it, and I never really kept them before that. But we started doing ponds. That's how this whole thing even started with us. Katie liked to have little, kiddie pool ponds in her backyard. And when we got this house, we decided to go stock tank and go big because it's got a big yard. So, we'd like a koi pond, but koi's are so expensive. You can go to the fish store and 10 cents a piece, get goldfish. And so we started doing that, and that'd probably be my second favorite fish is just goldfish. Plain old goldfish. They grow up, they're beautiful, they show up in the water, especially in ponds. They're easy, they're cheap. They're just they're a cool fish. So goldfish got me back into keeping aquariums, because when winter was coming close, we had to pull those fish out of the pond, bring it inside. We had 10-gallon aquarium. We had like
Your daughter.
probably 4 goldfish, and they were still small. And
My second one is the Oscar. That's the second one that got me in. Well, it's been great having you guys here.
oh, for sure.
Oh shit! Why'd I come back down?
I don't know why you came back down. You're at the 2-hour mark, sweetheart. I do 2 hours
Oh,
on
my
Sundays.
bad.
Sundays.
Okay.
Absolutely. We'll have to do it again. I usually bring people back and we'll do, a
Yeah,
revisit.
for sure. Maybe
Absolutely. We'll see. We'll watch
maybe
the
you'll
baby
have a
cry.
Monday that doesn't suck, and you'll be able to come on our show sometime. Too.
Absolutely.
Oh
I can
yeah,
make that happen.
he will make that happen.
I'll make it
You
happen.
just give him the time, and he will be there.
I'll make it happen.
I promise.
We used to do a lot more guests on our show, and we haven't really lined anybody up in a while now.
There we go.
Well, I feel like you've kind of been a little bit preoccupied and whatnot, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah, that's a lot of it's a lot. It's a lot. The whole nesting and bullshit, like it's a
Old
lot.
school.
Oh,
It's a
nice.
little hug.
A little hug.
So remember
Nice.
when y'all remember when we used to have little hugs when we were little, and they were sugary as hell, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
the best Kool-Aid you ever tasted in your life.
Mhm.
Why you look at these little things now, you'll look on the package, it's like there's like no sugar in these at all. It's like 2%. Like,
Wow.
hey,
Put my sugar back.
stop ruining childhoods,
Yeah.
like for real.
Right. There's something
And
about
they- and
drinking it through the foil lid too.
And I tasted it and it was so bad. I was just like,
Foil lid.
Yep.
oh, that's not it. Like I don't remember no aspartame when I was a kid.
No.
Uh-uh.
That shit was thick like syrup.
Thank you, Garcia.
Blech.
But yeah, contact me. You know how to get a hold of me. We'll set up a day and I'll
Absolutely.
get myself on there.
It'll be fun.
Y'all have a
Absolutely.
wonderful night.
Thank
We
you.
will.
You too.
Thank you
Give
so
the
much
baby
for having
lots
us,
of
because it's like you said, getting to know people, talk to people it's good times. That's what it's about, man.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Everybody knows different stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you had Mama June on there once. I've got to get her on here too.
Oh, our
Yeah.
only Oscars.
Only Oscars,
Oh,
yeah.
we gonna get her,
We're gonna get her on here. It's gonna
even if
take
it's
a
just
matter
her
of time.
voice. We don't mind.
Well, thank you guys for being here. That's the end of this stream. Guys, got anything else you want to say to the crowd?
Well, just keep your heads up, especially J-Rock. I know it
Yes.
sucks what happened to you, but things happen. I know you won't give up. Just
We'll get him some more coffee.
look for support in the community that we know here. It's going to help you out. And
I agree.
And make sure you go through all Jim's videos and give him a thumbs down.
Yes.
Oh, boo! Get this guy off of here. No revisit for you. Big ol' X.
All right, guys. Remember, it's your hobby. Do it your way.
Have a good night, y'all.
You too.
You
Thank
too.
you.